Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's all I got, man. It's
Welcome back, everyone, to another Lauren and Tom video game list. Top 5 Sega Genesis game list today.
Indeed. Tom, how you been, brother?
Been good. It's getting a little cold here in Frigidaire, Canada.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And you know how we battle that? In any way we can. Any way possible. Anyway, so we're talking Sega today. One of the consoles that I really didn't own my entire life, ever.
So you're kind of looking at the list from a modern set of eyes, right? Like
I'm looking at it from both what I played at my friends' places way back in the day, and I'm also going to look at it from replaying some of these games on arcade machines nowadays, like the 101 arcade machines and shit.
Okay. No, I get
those
that.
are the eyes I'm looking through this list today.
Understood. So I was very blessed to have not just the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, but the TurboGrafx as well back in the day.
You were one of those rich people.
No, I worked my ass off and spent all my own money. My parents, I maybe got a birthday game and a Christmas game. That's it. But
that's commendable.
But from 12 years old on, I've worked all the time. So, and I blew all my money on video games. So, I was very blessed to have 3 consoles all at one time.
Not just 1 or 2, but 3.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with one of yours.
Okay,
what's one of your favorite Sega Genesis games?
My honorable mention. So we can never keep our list of 5. So, and you're gonna hate me because my honorable mention is NHL '94 already.
How is that just an honorable mention? That should be one of your top 5 picks.
Because there's so many better games on the Genesis. I'm just throwing this on the list to throw some shit.
I love
eating
NHL
shade
94.
at all the Super Nintendo fanboys from back in the day. Eat crow, kids, because this game was way better on Genesis.
But they actually nailed it for the NHL series.
Absolutely better game, by far.
Yeah, I actually agree. Yeah, that's good.
What about you? What do you got?
My honorable mention is Bonanza Brothers.
Okay.
So you and a friend, you go into this apartment or like someone's house, you break in, you steal their shit, and then you try to get out of there before the cops show up. That's literally the game. And
Genesis.
It's like this really weird, cute, like the characters are all made out of like hard shapes, like a circle for the bigger guy and like a stick for the skinny guy, and it's all kind of like, I want to say 3D, but not quite, but it's like 2D, 3D platformer where you steal shit and you try to make your way out. Anyway, it's called Bonanza Brothers. Check it out.
I honestly don't think I ever played it.
It's definitely a sleeper. And that's one of those games where one of my friends, as I was in my 20s, owned a Genesis, and I figured I'd buy him a game, and I just saw it. It said Bonanza Brothers, $5, bought it, and it was we played that for hours. It was a good time.
No kidding. Those are the best, man. Just going off the
$5
back of the
bin.
box, and that's all you know. It's like that's the review. Just reading the back of the box, man.
Yeah.
You fucking Gen Zers know nothing these days.
Update.
You don't know the pain. Okay. What do you got for your number 5?
So, my number 5, released January 1st, 1994, made by Factor 5 and some members from Kaiko. It's just a one-player game. You're Brett McGuire. You wear the Turrican assault suit, and you're still the leader of the Freedom Force. You go in there, you destroy the evil forces of the machine. And what's really cool about this game is that, like, the enemies are large. There's lots of items. There's like a shit ton of guns. You can have the grappling hook like in Bionic Commando.
Yeah.
And it's just the music also for Genesis, just surprising. It's actually not bad.
Yeah.
Like I actually really like it for this one, and just the amount of accessories and guns and quick gameplay and colorful enemies and shit. Like if you got ADD, this is like a shoe-in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's always some shit to do. Big enemies, huge bosses. Like, it's a pretty game, and that's what draws you to this.
Yes, it is. That Genesis could pull off some pretty nice graphics, man.
Yeah, and actually not too cheap nowadays. It goes for about $150.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is actually on the more expensive side for Genesis games.
Yeah, no kidding. That's yikes.
How about you? What is your number 5?
My number 5 is Konami game. Came out in
awesome.
March 94. It is Castlevania Bloodlines.
Oh, man. Awesome. Awesome game. Such awesome graphics.
I feel bad for kids that only played Super Castlevania 4 on Super Nintendo and never saw this game, oh man, like
This is
they,
awesome.
They used to say Nintendo hard, but Genesis hard is a thing, and this game was Genesis hard.
Yeah.
It was rough, man.
What was the main character's name in this one again?
John Morris.
Cool vest.
But that's not the only guy, because he was the whip guy, right?
Yeah, you
Eric,
get two
Eric
characters.
Lecard was the spear guy.
That's right.
And the coolest part of this game is that the level design, like, it was branching paths. The path branched based on who you were, not which direction you went. Like, you were limited to your branched path based on your character. So that was a neat setup.
And the tunes are wicked in that one too.
Yes, and
which again is not a normal thing for Genesis for the most part.
The other thing that kids today don't understand is like the magazine.
Oh, that ruled the
situation
empire back then, man.
Like, Electronic Gaming Monthly was my guy.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's my guy, my number 5.
I like it. That's a good number 5.
Oh yeah. Number 4, made by Capcom, starring Ryu Hayabusa. It is Strider.
Nice. Of course.
It is literally an arcade perfect home port. And
I would say more fun than the arcade.
Because you can take your time and it didn't cost you, $27 to get to the end of the game.
Or sorry, the D-pad.
Like a plasma sword that's called your Cypher. And you can pick up an item to make it like twice as long, and then it's a wicked. It's just a great weapon. You can jump, you can slide, you can grapple, you can climb walls and ceilings, and it's just the amount of control is, if you were just playing Contra before, this gave you a lot more control options.
And it was on a bigger cartridge, I think, right?
It was the first ever 8 megabit cartridge.
Oh, for the system, that's right.
Which is
big at the time.
1 megabyte. That's it. But in 1990, it was a big enough deal to put the sticker on the label saying 8 mega.
Dude, you can't lie to me. When you saw that back then, it was totally like, oh, this is going to be a wicked game.
It was cool. Yeah. So I bought a Genesis and that game. That's it. That's my number 4. What about you?
I like it. My number 4, and this is even taking me by surprise, but I have to go back to games I played then and games I played recently, and I actually had so much fucking fun with Sonic Pinball.
Spinball?
Yeah, Spinball.
Sonic Spinball. Fuck yeah.
Dude, November 23rd, 1993, developed by the Sega team. You know how long it took them to make this fucking game?
Like 2 days?
61 days. Yeah. That is the crunch line they had because, again, they wanted Sonic 3 to come out for 1992's Christmas launch, right? Couldn't make it.
Sonic 2?
Sorry, Sonic 3. Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, which they got the Japan Sega team to put out. That wasn't going to get launched in time, so they asked the Sega American team to cram a Sonic game out, and this is what they crapped out. And you know what?
It is fun, man.
It is so much fucking fun, man. You collect the emeralds, you defeat the level bosses at the very top. You did over 3 more times. There's only 4 levels in this, but you wouldn't know because of the sheer difficulty it is to beat one of these fucking levels, man. And it's still a really cheap game, so if you want to try this out, it'll cost you $40. That comes with a box and manual. Cheap game.
Yeah, it was. I think I do have one on my shelf.
Yeah.
I do.
My number 3 is Golden Axe 2.
Oh, that's... See how, like... It's crazy that that's your number 3.
Because that's a
but I totally
stellar
get it,
game.
Because there's definitely bangers on the show. Like, yeah, it's nuts.
Released January 26, 1992. Dev and published by the Sega team. You pick from Axe Battler, Tyrus Flare, and Gilius Thunderhead, the same 3 from the previous game. You go in to defeat Lord Dark Gould and his evil forces. There's 6 levels. The 7th level is the main boss battle. There's nothing really new about these style games. It's a 2-player co-op beat 'em up, really cool. The magic elements in this one were boosted up, so you didn't have to like wait till your bar was fully charged to use it. You could use it at any given point, and if you waited for your magic element to grow further down the bar, it would be a bigger attack that you could pull off.
Yeah, I thought that was the coolest part about it.
I thought that was really awesome. And also still a very cheap game. It's $50. And if you guys are curious about a really good beat 'em up for Genesis, this is one of those.
No, that's fair.
Anyway, how about you?
Prepare, hold your buttocks. My number 3, released in November 1992 for the Christmas rush. Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah, Sonic 2.
And I will fucking die on this hill.
It's
is
the best
way
one.
better than Sonic 3 or Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I don't give
agree.
a shit. Let's talk about that real quick. Sonic and Knuckles, which is the lock-on technology in the beginning of the fucking Tower of Power.
It's true.
Uh,
Very cool, awesome,
very
huge.
cool. And you can plug in Sonic 2 and then play Knuckles in Sonic 2, which is cool. And then if you plug it in Sonic 1, you can play the globe game, whatever, the mini game.
Yeah, but that's something like you want to like show it off to your friends. So you're like, yo, check out what my Sega Genesis can do, man.
Yeah, now it's like extra tall, and I have to take it out of the TV console because it doesn't fucking fit anymore. Stupid, but I loved it. That game, the only reason Sonic and Knuckles was made because they couldn't finish Sonic 3 the way they wanted. So all of the Sonic and Knuckles part was supposed to be in Sonic 3. But they had to just cut their losses and make it 2 different games and release them like 4 months apart. And they still aren't as good as Sonic 2. It's stupid. So Sonic 2 is essentially just more of a great thing, and then they added spin dashing.
Yeah, which changed the game
Absolutely
altogether.
changed the game, because now Sonic 1 is fucking unplayable. It's so shitty.
And it's hard to go back to Sonic 1 when you realize there's no
can't.
spin dash, you know?
I just can't.
Yep.
Sonic Team had an absolute jam on their hands with that, and it's a shame that, you know, things happen to Sonic, and we'll just leave it at that. My number 2.
Let's hear it.
Tom's gonna disagree with me.
Let's hear it.
The greatest fucking beat 'em up ever made, Streets of
no.
Rage 2. December 1992, and you're wrong.
Fucking awesome game. It
fucking
is
wrong.
an awesome game.
Final Fight is terrible compared to this.
Hey!
It's terrible compared to Streets of Rage 2. It's terrible. Let's go over why. Okay. So it's the best home beat 'em up. In
I can
my
agree.
eyes, ever.
The best
Better
home
than
beat 'em
Turtles
up
in
for
Time.
Genesis, I'll agree.
Better than Turtles in Time.
For you mean Heist?
Or Hyperstone Heist for
Hyperstone
Genesis.
Heist? Yeah.
I'm
Let's
saying it's-
stick it to the. Okay, so you're
I'm saying
saying
it's
all
better.
consoles.
It's the best home beat 'em up. So you still get Axel, you get Blaze, and then Max, and Eddie is like the fucking rollerblade wearing guy that's like absolute Genesis.
You know
at
who
its
I'm
peak.
picking every time.
It's like Eddie's just the shit, man. Like super fast. No, I was always Axel.
Dude,
But-
suplexes
Blaze-
and body slams. Come on.
Blaze was fucking awesome too. But combo that made this game is actually a sister brother combo. So the what's his name? Yuzo is the brother, I think. He did music, and then Ayano is the sister, and she was like the lead programmer of the whole game. You get like those like blitz attacks where you double tap and then you're moving and then you also have your like special attacks where you can use your own health, which I thought was fucking awesome. It's like risk reward. It's just everything about this game. The music,
Depending on the level, it's really good
blew
music.
everything away, man.
Yeah.
Like it really sucks when you play this game and then you look at all the other Genesis games that had like the shitty FM synth.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
those like you said, Sonic Spinball. Like some of the sound effects are fucking terrible in that game.
Oh my god.
Nothing is terrible in Streets of Rage 2. The music is fucking smashing, man. The sound effects are right on. Like everything about this game is just fucking energy, man. It's so good. That's it. I can't even say anything else about it. It's the best home beat 'em up ever.
It is a really fun beat 'em up.
That's it. What's your number 2?
Mutant League Hockey.
Yeah.
Released fall of 1994. Dev and published by EA. You can do 1, 2, 3, or 4 players in this game. You pick from robots, skeletons, or trolls. Look, there's freaking exploding pucks, craters in the ice. You can bribe the ref to call a bullshit penalty on your team. The teams and the players and the referees all do like smack talk scenes in between shit. The announcers are hilarious. You can pick from 23 teams in this. The crowd will throw in accessories like chainsaws so that you can have a chainsaw instead of a stick, and you can like decapitate your players. So eventually you'll start like 5v5. If you kill their players off, they run out of players, that game turns into like a 1v5 real fast, man. Like, it is so much fucking fun.
Just over the top ridiculous.
Oh, totally over the top. And normally I would totally go with what Lawrence said earlier, like an NHL series for Sega. But this one was just so fucking rad. One of the guys I ended up renting a place with, he had a Genesis, he had Mutant League Hockey, and we played like season mode on this, and it took forever to beat, and it was... Every single match was awesome.
Yeah.
It was just such a sweet game, lots to learn from. Every single team has different statistics that will make them a little bit better than the other, just like any other hockey game. Get a 4-player multi-tap for this, it's totally worth your time.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear my number 1?
Yes, sir. But once I get Batman off my lap because my leg's falling asleep. Come on, Batman, go. Sorry, buddy.
Cats for days.
Oh.
So, again, made by EA. Well,
I already know. I know your game.
Published by EA, developed by Game Refuge, released January 13, 1993. We're talking about General Chaos.
Oh. I'm sure. I thought it was Desert Strike for sure.
No, not this time.
General Chaos, nice.
So,
hey, man, everybody's got a favorite. I thought for sure it was Desert Strike.
You can do 1-2 players versus co-op. You can actually get multi-tap for this and play this 4 players. You can do 2v2 or 4 people on the same team. That's pretty diverse.
Huh.
You join either Moronica or Visceria, and you're either General Chaos or General Havoc. You pick from your 4 different sets of teams of commandos. You try to take over the battlefield in a RTS style game where you just select your soldier. You go over. They either have grenades or a missile launcher or machine guns, and there's lots on the field. You eventually do close combat if you get too close to one another. It's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors scenario. You can end up kicking the guy in the balls, like, to get a quick victory in the end, or like if your guy's feeling salty at the end, he can take out the other guy by like shooting him last second when he's on the ground, which is pretty cool. You can use your cursor and go over a downed comrade and get a medic to get him, so you can revive some of your fallen warriors if you wanted to. You can pick up ammo. It's just such a very fun game. It's something you would see on a computer. It's not something you'd ever think you'd see on a Genesis. Electronic Gaming Monthly gave it 8 out of 10 that year, and it's a cheap game. It's $20 to $30. General Chaos, just
back
an awesome
when magazine
Battlefield
reviews
game.
actually meant something. And
Yeah,
you can
like
trust
you
them.
saw 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. That was the game you were gonna buy.
No, that's totally.
How about you? What's
you
your number
about,
one, man?
Like Hyperstone Heist. That's another great game. That,
Oh,
like,
dude,
needs an
like
honorable
there's
mention.
a lot of like Contra Hard Corps didn't make it, and I love that game.
That game's
Gradius
fucking hard.
on the system was great.
Yep.
I didn't even mention
no
any of them.
slowdown, Gradius.
Yeah.
That's important. You know which game did have slowdown?
What?
My number 1. So it's just it's so chaotic and action heavy. And hi, Batman, can you get your asshole out of my face, please? Thanks. That it's so chaotic that it actually jams down the Genesis, which ran at twice the speed of a Super Nintendo. By the way,
I'm trying to think. Hold on. Let me see here.
Well, I'll start giving you some clues. So
is it Afterburner 2?
No.
Okay.
That'd be a great game. Initial early work on Contra 3 Alien Wars.
Are you talking about like Forgotten Realm?
No, they did. I don't
This
think
is
you're,
gonna
I don't
piss
think
me
you're
off.
gonna guess it. But yeah, so 91. So they all quit when they said, "Well, make this game or we all quit." And I think there was 18 of them. They developed Treasure. So Treasure
This is where the story begins.
started off as Konami. A bunch of disgruntled guys that were fed up that they couldn't have their true vision of a game made. At Konami,
So we're
of all
talking about like
places.
Konami and Ultra, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's let's see. They had that. They went to a Sega and they said, "We want to develop this game for you. We are former Konami. We need a license." And Sega said, "No." So they're like, "Oh shit. Well, what do we do?" So they kept badgering Sega, and Sega said, "Fine, we'll give you a license, but you have to make another game first." So they made both these games at the same time, and that other game was McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure.
Oh, good lord.
So that is technically Treasure's first game. But this other game that they were making at the same time would go on to be one of the most inspiring, incredible games that it is directly responsible for Vector Man being made. Shinobi 3 stole tons of ideas from it.
You're gonna say Gunstar Heroes.
Absolutely.
Ah, god damn it.
Gunstar Heroes, September 93. Technically the first game Treasure made, because McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure does not fucking count.
Yeah.
That was to
That was
appease
a
Sega so that they could get their license. This game is fucking insane. It's got 7 levels. The first 4 levels are kind of like Mega Man style. You can do them in any order you want. And then the final 3 are like boss rush. It's got that like classic Treasure, absolute jam-packed action. There's so much shit going on the screen at the same time. You can run, you can slide, you can jump, you can grapple. You can do all of that while shooting.
Yeah, because you
It's
can
just
lock your
outstanding
aim
control.
if you want.
You
right?
can have 2 options, control options. You can lock where like when you're pushing the button, like the fire button.
Yeah.
You're locked. You don't run, or you can have full movement where you can shoot wherever you want as you're running. So you choose your control option, right? There's literally so much action on screen that it actually fucking slows down a Genesis, which is unheard of. Like but yeah, the weapon types. There's 4 main weapon types. You can combine them, so you can have like Thunderbolt to get like double power, or you can have like Thunderbolt machine gun to have like rapid fire thunder. Like it's kind of, you can see the direction they were going where Radiant Silvergun became a thing, right?
You know,
like,
I
it all started in this game.
horizontal or vertical shooter to be your number 1 on Genesis.
I mean, this really is. It's a running gun,
I
right?
I guess it is. Yeah.
But it's fucking hardcore. Like the bosses are tough.
And also 2 players, I believe, right?
Like the fluid motion, like the bosses look so fucking, and they're huge.
Yeah.
They take up the whole screen, and like
When big sprites mattered.
the animation is incredible. It's so smooth, and like you just didn't see shit like that on the Super Nintendo, man. Like if you were just like a Nintendo fanboy and never like fuck Genesis, and you saw that game, you were jealous.
Yeah.
Because
Shots fired.
absolutely would not have run on a Super Nintendo. There's no fucking way. Unbelievable, man. That game just blew my mind.
Well, that was our Sega Genesis list, everyone. And I am as surprised as you are that these were our 5 games, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, it's funny too, because I spent a lot of time on this list, thinking and
Me too.
putting a game
Lots
on
of
and then-
erasing.
and then taking it off.
Yeah, same. Well, thanks for checking us out, everyone.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, all that. Follow. We're gonna have more lists coming.
Bye.